All right, let's talk about some of the Medishare plans that they offer and some of the pricing that they offer. And most importantly, how to get the best price. So if you're considering using Medishare, you already use them. I'm going to break down exactly how to know that you are paying the right amount, the cheapest price for you to use the service. Now, I'm going to put a link to this page down in the description, but they have hidden on their website a little calculator where you can see all these plans for yourself. They don't make it super easy to get to, but they have a little pricing calculator. And so you just come here, pick the date you're going to start, your state, your zip code, whether you're married or not. The oldest, I'm going to go ahead and put this in for my actual date. And it says the birth date of the oldest applicant, okay? If it's you and your spouse, then you want whichever one is older. Now, the number of applicants, if it's just you, you're single, just you. If it's you and your spouse, that. If it's any kids, 1 kid, 2 kids, 5 kids, 10 kids, 3 or more, it's all the same pricing, which is really nice if you have a bunch of kids. Click that, and then we're going to see our pricing, okay? And then we're going to see these different AHP amounts. And if you aren't familiar with the AHP, it stands for annual household portion. And this is the amount that you have to pay, that you're responsible for each year in a 1-year period before they cover any expenses for you. This would be the super high deductible plan at $12,000, and they go all the way down to $3,000, okay? And then obviously, as you go lower, your share amount monthly goes up. So let me break this down. Let me come over here. And I broke this down into a spreadsheet where we can just see what's going on. And so this was me a couple years ago. I ran these numbers. And this was me at age 40 with our family of 5. So we have 3 kids, my wife and I. And we've been with them so long, we're grandfathered into a different program, which is this one right here, this 10.5 deductible, which is not available anymore. So that one doesn't really matter. So these are the different AHPs, and in this column, we're looking at the average or the monthly due that would be required for each of them. And then I broke it out by, okay, so if I have 0 medical bills in an entire year, how much would I pay, okay? So in this case, if I had 0 medical bills and we are on this high deductible plan, so basically it's this times 12. That's pretty much what this is going to be, okay? Now, if it was a $3,000 bill, what it's going to be is this times 12, okay, but nothing additional, okay? So if we have no medical bills, we're on this lower plan, we're going to end up spending $9,500 over the course of that year versus $3,700 if we have no bills. And so you can see we broke this out by, this one is for if we have $2,000 of medical bills, if we have $5,000 of medical bills, and then $10,000, $20,000, and $50,000. And what you'll notice is I'm making these green. The green ones are where it's the cheapest, and the red are the most expensive. So the point is, like the big takeaway from this for me was, all right, if I have $5,000 in medical bills or less, it makes sense for me to be on the high deductible plan, okay? Now, on the other hand, if I am expecting to have $10,000 or more of medical bills, it's going to make more sense for me to be on the low deductible plan. Now, of course, you don't always know, but you might have some idea. In our case, like I said, we've been with them a long time now. And if I look back at our last 14, 15 years with Medishare, there's only been 1 year where we actually broke our high deductible. And so the point is for us, like we are consistently under $10,000. And I have the data to prove it in our case, and you might too if you've been with traditional insurance or something. But the point is I can look back at the last 14 years and see what our medical bills have been for the year, and I can know that it's most likely that we're not going to break this $10,000 thing. Now, things happen, and we might do it 1 year every once in a while, but the point is most years we've been down in here, and this high deductible plan has made the best sense for us, okay? Now, if you're a family, everybody gets hurt all the time, and you have a lot of other conditions and issues and just a lot of medical expenses, and you know that, like, man, I'm normally breaking 10K, then this might make a whole lot more sense for you, okay, depending on your family situation. Now, the other part of this, just breaking this down, like the difference between, let me get rid of this row, between the 3K and the 12K plan, in this case, is $5,700, okay, so that's a big savings. And in our case, when we looked at switching from this $3,000 plan to the 10.5 plan, or we'll just say the 12 plan in this case, like that saves in this case $792. What are we looking at? $480 a month saved by switching from this to this. And so what that means is just plug that in a savings account. Like let that build up. That's going to get you close to $5,500 by the end of the year that you'll have sitting there to cover some of these big expenses. So I'm a big fan of the high deductible plan if you can swing it, because you can start building up your own kind of emergency fund to cover when you do have an expensive bill and you actually have to pay 10, 12 out of pocket. Bottom line, simply put, in our situation, and we'll go ahead and look at a couple other ones real quick, 5K or less, it makes sense with this, 10K or more, and probably there's somewhere in the sweet spot in between, 7, 8K, I would guess, where it starts making more sense here. Now, if we're looking at age 25 with 0 kids, this is the monthly dues. And I pulled all this directly off of this calculator. And so you can go in and change all this and get whatever answers make sense for you. So as you can see, it's a little bit cheaper than it was 40 with a few kids, which makes sense. But this pattern actually remains pretty similar to where it really tends to make sense. If you have less than $5,000 or $5,000 or less, this high deductible plan still makes a lot of sense. In the same way with 10K or above. And so we go to age 55 as a single person with no kids, and we're still seeing this basic pattern here. And so these are the prices for what I pulled off of the calculator when I pulled it over here. But in general, like this just seems to be the pattern in the trend. If you're 10K or more in a month, consider the lower annual deductible, annual household portion, or 5K or less, consider the higher one. So I'll paste a link both to this calculator, so you can play with this if you want and get the actual numbers for yourself, as well as a spreadsheet if you want to play with this. Just go ahead and make a copy. So file, make a copy. I'm not going to let you edit this one, but you can make a copy and use it for yourself. And if you have any questions, let me know down in the comments. Happy to help any way I can. Did you know that there is an unofficial $100 sign-up bonus for Medishare? And so as a Medishare member, I get a bonus for referring new members. So if you decide to sign up and let them know that Bob Lotich referred you, I am happy to share that bonus with you. More details down in the description below, but just email me after letting them know that Bob Lotich referred you, and I will send you a $100 Amazon gift card.